Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and finally an entertaining day of matches here in the CDL. We certainly earned it after the shambles that was yesterday, but many great storylines of both of these games that we are certainly going to dive into, as of course the Stage 5 Major is just around the corner it seems at this point. And tweet your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Everybody outside the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, as OpTic Chicago confirm, tickets are now live for the World Championship. If you want to acquire them, then well, feel free to do so. Head to the link, all that good stuff, bit.ly, you know, CDL Champs tickets, all that good stuff, and acquire the tickets for the Los Angeles Champs August through the 19th through the 22nd. I'm pretty sure you can buy a ticket for like each individual day if you can only attend one of those days or something along those lines. Paris have been continuing to pump out the content. We saw their team is pretty much in a shambles right now. Earlier today we saw Scrap saying like, okay, he actually pretty much wanted to dip from that squad, or at least that was the discussion that was being had, but still they're cracking on with this whole regain, this time with Temp on the episode, so cool to see at least some content coming out still from the CDL team. So of course, Crimsix was playing today, the Dallas Envoy were playing today. Clayster has some things to say before the match. I love Porter, Yo, we need one, LARPer / Hog Hunter / SEAL Team 6 member. This weekend says Ian at Crimsix Porter, and well, he wasn't exactly on top form today, as we will look at here up against the Florida Mutineers. A very interesting game. I thought it would go game 5 to be honest, but I wasn't expecting it to end exactly how it did. This first series, Dallas Empire versus Mutineers, what an absolute cracker this was, right? And we really deserved a series like this, to be honest. The second series is also very good as well, to be honest, especially a couple of these maps that we will look at here in a second. This game 1 here on Moscow Hardpoint was absolutely phenomenal. It was a really interesting game. It felt like Dallas had it in the bag. They've been particularly good at this map the entire season long, but there were so many situations where the Dallas guys weren't quite as coordinated as they might have been. It's really interesting, to be honest, for me to see that when they're on LAN, like I'm at the Stage 4 Major, it seemed like they were so cohesive and on the same page. This game, it didn't really seem like that, especially towards the end of it, and it was Neptune who completely turned up this game. The scoreboard for this game is completely remarkable. They win it 250 to, I'm pretty sure, 242 in the end. They make a pretty crazy comeback. I mean, Dallas did their best to try and hold on towards the end, but all the kill feed was green. And look at these stats, right? Like, often we do see that Dallas get outslayed and still manage to win. Here, they get outslayed and lose. But look at this. The only player in the lobby that's positive, apart from Havoc, I suppose, who's technically even, is Neptune at 33 and 18. This guy was absolutely out of control. And it does, honestly, right now, Neptune looks like one of the best players in the game. There's no doubt about it. Yes, Mutineers aren't a top team, at least in terms of standings right now. I mean, they're 8th or so right now in the CDL standings. But still, Neptune has been absolutely fantastic as of late. And these performances are just absolutely incredible, to be honest. It's incredible to see a player of his caliber come over from Halo, and now he's just sitting here dropping absolute numbers. And he's really grown into the season, just like Shotzzy did last time around, and maybe Shotzzy is continuing to do this year. But Neptune, such a scary prospect right now. And really, honestly, like, you don't want to play against this guy. He can pop off at any moment, as he did her up against the Dallas Empire. That makes Mutineers a threat. Now, of course, in LAN, in front of the fans and all that stuff, things that might be a slightly different story. But he does have experience in Halo in previous times as well. So who knows what happens when they go to the Major. But still, Dallas certainly a team that seems to have been better on LAN as of late, and Mutineers maybe the other way around, slightly better online. Game 2 also goes the way of the Mutineers. It looked like Dallas should have had an advantage here early on. They've been particularly good at standoff, to be honest, for this entire season. This does not go their way though. 2-0 advantage for the Florida Mutineers. Then we go to a control. And well, Azuma says right here, pretty interesting. I mean, Nameless says, look, Florida looking good. Neptune's a different beast. They are nasty online, saying, okay, maybe a nasty online, on LAN, maybe a different story. Who knows when the Major does indeed come around. But Dallas Empire stay alive. This game 4 was game 3, sorry, was pretty ridiculous. There was a situation where Skies was over by Tiki. I forget who it was. Maybe it was ILLey, like, laying down inside Tiki. And if Skies checks it, it's pretty much game over. At least they win that offensive round and give themselves much better chance of winning this map. But Dallas somehow closed out. They always seem to find a way to do this. Like, I'm pretty sure their record on raid control isn't that good, but there's so many rounds that they'll just eke out by the skin of their teeth. And it felt like, okay, yeah, fair play. Dallas are going to come back into the series quite nicely, especially because Garrison Hardpoint was coming up next. A fantastic map for Dallas Empire this entire season. And it was once again an absolutely phenomenal one. But well, as you can see right here from Havoc, a ridiculous finish to this game 4. I mean, this was absolutely incredible. I had no idea what was going on the map, honestly, the majority of the time. And well, you can see Havoc getting incredibly hyped. That is because a massive lead for Dallas early on. I mean, a solid like 60-point advantage. Mutineers bring it back all the way towards the end, but it still seems like, look, Dallas are going to find a way to hold on here. Awakening got a massive 2-piece with like 1 HP to stop Dallas getting some time over towards P2. Then they got a pretty good rotation in towards the back there, but then ILLey was in the back. He was trying to find someone in the back. He was spinning in circles, couldn't exactly quite find him. And well, this is the end of the game right here. ILLey spinning in circles, trying to find the guy, has no idea where he is. Havoc takes him down, and to be fair to Havoc, who has, obviously caught some flack on this team at times when they haven't been performing for his statistical work, but still, I mean, this guy was absolutely fantastic this entire series. He had such a great cover of maps, and well, Neptune's super chilling, as you can see right here. here, and Sky's this hype turn, as he, well, should be, right? Havoc went out of control, Neptune went out of control, and what a, collapse, to be honest, in the Dallas Empire. At times here, it really felt like they had it in the bag. As you can see, they're bringing this game back. It was Florida who were right on the verge of winning, and Dallas Empire almost brought it back. But, yeah, so many key moments here for Dallas in both hardpoints, to be honest, that they failed to capitalize on. They very easily could have won both of these hardpoint maps and taken this series very comfortably indeed. Doesn't happen, though, goes the other way around. And to be fair to Mutineers, credit where it is due. They really took advantage of the opportunities presented to them here and played some phenomenal Call of Duty. The individual players on their team turned up, and seeing a great performance like this out of a Havoc is exactly what they're going to need to compete with the best. They need both their SMG players to be playing phenomenally well, and well, if Havoc's doing as he was here in this series, they are a force to be reckoned with, no doubts going forwards. So Dallas Empire kind of throw it away, but certainly credit due to the Mutineers taking advantage of their opportunities. This puts Mutineers in a great spot to try and fight their way back to the 6th seed for the World Championship, and at the same time puts pressure on Los Angeles Thieves, and also means that Dallas Empire have a bit of a harder time getting that 2nd seed, but they will play Minnesota Rokkr on Sunday to see how they progress from their Neptune finding form at the right time of the season, no doubt about that, and this does officially mean now that Seattle Surge and the London Royal Ravens are now eliminated from the World Championships, the playoffs contention later this year. There's no way they can get enough points now, whatever they do, even if they win the entire major, and Mutineers lose every single series from here on out, they still cannot get the 8th seed, which is pretty tragic, all things considered, but at the end of the day, given how bad these teams are looking, you could well argue it's actually a good idea that we only have 8 teams going to the World Championship, or it would just be an absolute bloodbath. This was the 2nd series of the day then, Los Angeles Thieves versus FaZe, and I thought, okay, we've got a good series of the day over with. We've had crazy finishes to games, it was nothing like yesterday, right, where we were seeing just so many boring games all day long. Crazy finishes to hard points, pretty good search and destroy, great control as well for the Dallas Empire versus the Mutineers, but I thought, okay, this series, maybe FaZe will just come out and show us a very similar performance really to yesterday. They'll just come out and smoke Los Angeles Thieves. That is not what happened at all. You've got to give great credit to Thieves here, because John, statistically, did not have a great series at all, but still, they actually put up a great resistance in Thieves here against FaZe, and it was really impressive to see how they managed to pull this one off. This game 1 was, again, it just shows how good FaZe are and how difficult they are to beat, because Thieves played such a great map here. There was so many situations where I felt like, okay, Thieves are in the advantage, but somehow FaZe just clawed together some time, keep the game close, and then got a great rotation to P2, and the streaks don't really do much. I mean, I think Kenny has streaks here, but they don't really do too much on Garrison or Checkmate, sorry, to be honest. And in the end, FaZe is just too strong and close out game 1. They basically did the same thing in both of the hardpoints. This, I think, is where you beat FaZe. Their control is untouchable, their search and destroy is incredibly consistent, but you can take one search off FaZe, and you can try and win both hardpoints. I think this is how you have to do it. This, to me, felt like a pretty much must-win game 1, to be honest, for the Los Angeles Thieves. If they'd have won this, they put themselves in with a great shout of the series. But, yeah, FaZe win game 1. It seems like it's already over, to be honest, but this was really close. Shout out to Drazah as well. I remember when he first came into this team with the AR in hand, he dominated a Checkmate hardpoint to, begin his career really on the Los Angeles Thieves, at least for this season. And, well, he's done it again here with the SMG in hand. He drops 39 kills this game 1. It was absolutely ridiculous. Look at him, 39 in 27. John has a bit of a shocker, but it's Simp once again just dropping a casual 1.32, and that's his overall series KD as well. We then go into a search and destroy, where it looks like FaZe is okay. I mean, statistically, they're just absolutely dominant in every single game mode, especially search and destroy, well, especially actually control. This happened during the middle of the series. This was ridiculous. We see aBeZy come in here, pop a lovely little 3-piece, and shoot Kenny's body, as you can see, effectively shooting all 3 of their bodies, as well, they all drop in front of him. Sasha gets 1 kill, eventually traded out, and it looked like, okay, wow, they're back on form, they're just going to run through this, no doubt about it. They move up 5-2 in this map, but all of a sudden, the comeback starts to come in. This was one of the craziest comebacks I think I've seen, probably the first time I've seen FaZe shoot bodies and actually go on to lose the map. It doesn't happen particularly often. It happens right here. The bad juju monster comes back to bite aBeZy, and honestly, what a phenomenal map this really was. Los Angeles Thieves made a crazy comeback. It was Kenny every single round popping some crazy pieces to get them over the line, but this final round, Slasher makes one of the best plays I honestly might have seen all year. This is ridiculous. We'll watch it as it transpires right here. So the bomb goes down. John gets picked off bomb, to be honest. I'm not really sure how he lets himself get picked here. Maybe it's an angle that you can get, but aBeZy gets the kill. Slasher finds himself in such a difficult spot. He dives out the window. Not only does he have to deal with aBeZy coming from behind him, who takes down his teammates. So you can see right here, Drazah, Slasher just turns on him straight away. Then Simp is in the window, and Simp is, well, he goes to Charles Slasher right here. Slasher's already weak, kills him instantly, and then Slasher still manages to run away from Cellium and doesn't die. What a play. What a slippery beast he indeed is. Takes down Cellium from the back. Arcitys trades him out eventually, and Kenny wins the 1 versus 1 to win the map and complete the 2-5 comeback. So a phenomenal map, to be honest, from all the guys on Los Angeles Thieves. That play from Slasher at the end there was absolutely insane. Kenny did such a good job to get in the back there. This I thought was a crazy stat, that Slasher is undefeated on Moscow hardpoint still. He was on July the 9th, and that's what he has to do to win them a map right here. So fair play to Thieves putting up a battle. Method is look, might be time for a change joke with this Los Angeles, well, with this Atlanta FaZe squad, they're clearly not good enough anymore. But of course, they do what they do best when we get to control and completely dominate it. I mean, it didn't even feel like Thieves had a chance at this map, right? After having such good momentum in that game 3, FaZe obviously reset mentally very quickly. They win the first offense, they win the first defense comfortably, get streaks, and then close out the second offense, and just win the game, you know, without even a shadow of a doubt in mind. We saw the casters and Miles and Chance were talking about, look, maybe the other team should just be able to forfeit this map 3 so they don't have to suffer the momentum loss that they would have. And I mean, this is just a ridiculous statistic. 7-game control winning streak for Atlanta FaZe, 15-1 in their last 16 maps. What do you even do against that right now? And what, they go into the final raid hardpoint, again, a very back and forth affair. Thieves maybe should have done better in certain situations, and statistically, I think John had a pretty hard series. But well, if he plays better, maybe at least statistically, then what, they could honestly have put up a great fight here. And to be fair, they already did. Both hardpoints were close. They win the search and destroy. The control, that is what it is, to be honest, at the end of the day. Here you can see the overall statistics. John has a 0.6. I mean, Drazah ends up just below 1. Slasher, I mean, he honestly had a crazy play in the search and destroy, so kind of forgive him for going negative here. Kenny did his best, but I mean, it's just Simp, Cellium, and aBeZy just doing what they do best, to be honest, on the other side of things. So fair play to Los Angeles Thieves. They put up a fight as I was hoping to see. They may well be a contender towards the top tier, and if they keep improving, and if they manage to actually take one of these hardpoints maybe next time they play Atlanta FaZe, we could have a very different story on our hands. But good to see the CDL back in action with some actually entertaining matches. Intriguing your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.